Ooh, this is Nuff Said episode 5. I am Adam Dickens, and this is the best co-host on the planet, Trey Adams. Yes, sir. First, we would like to thank Sonorous Wave for our sponsorship. They do an amazing job. If you get a chance, listen to the intro song. Also, just hit the email form if you have a live event you would like them to play at. Again, thank you very much for that. Next up, Trey, how are you doing? And tell me some real shit, not some fake. All right. What's up?
Excited, man. I'm ready to see what the heck happens in the league tonight. I'm curious to see what trades happen. I'm keeping my phone refreshed every 5 seconds. But other than that, it is the same old. I'm chilling. I can't complain. You?
Absolutely, same here. It's one of the biggest nights in the NBA, and I have a feeling we'll get more into it. But tonight is going to be one of those drafts we look back, and even though it's not very hype right now, we're going to be like, this changed the league. So that's just my little bit to start the show. I truly feel like that. And again, this is Nuff Said Sports Podcast, episode 5. Let's get ready to rumble. Before we get started, I know we ready to go. Let's slow down a little bit. We would like you guys to know that we are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. What else? Twitter. We're on Twitter. That's heating up, by the way. I forgot to tell you that. It's heating up. Finally getting some notifications, some retweets. Took a little bit, but we going. We getting this going. It's everything's catching up, man. Everything's going according to plan. It's a slow brew, but it's gonna be good. So, let's go ahead and get into the first subject. We got Lou Will return. My guy,
Nasty Lou.
My
Nasty
guy.
Lou.
Well, you call him that. I call him Magic City Lou, but I feel you on that 100%. Tell me, what is your favorite Lou Williams memory? What's your favorite Lou Williams memory you got?
I liked him best. It's crazy. I liked him best when he was on Philly. It's not really a moment. It was just, I guess, time span. I liked him when he was on Philly. Why? Because when we played 2K, he was an automatic 20 off the bench, and that boy. But bro was nasty. But in the second, I would say that his Clipper days. But I liked him when he was with Philly.
Hey, I feel it. For some reason, I have a hard time remembering him in the Philly days. I'm tripping.
Wow.
I remember him just mainly with the Clippers and in the bubble. And speaking of bubble, my favorite memory is when this man had a death in the family, and he was back in Atlanta, I believe, and he went to Magic City, and he was just getting some wings. And the media killed this man because they thought he was going to see strippers and made up the excuse his family died. But in his defense, strip club wings, specifically Buffalo with a side of good ranch, are amazing.
Fire.
And I don't blame them one bit. The media can go suck it. We're part of the media now, but whatever. I'm getting me some wings to go. I might take a peep or two. I ain't got to tip nothing. We all good. That's probably my favorite. And fun fact, okay, I was doing a little bit of research. What do you think is the most that Lou Will made in a year? What do you think his highest yearly salary is?
Like, I could have swore he made like 18 before. But so like between 15 and 20, I think was like the most he's made in a season, but it's spread out. Like, he's done that throughout his career.
That's a good guess, and that's what you would think that a man like Lou Williams would make. The most he ever made was $8 million, and that was with the Clippers, and that was with Philly for 1 year.
Wow.
So that $8 million, and it's just because of, well, first off, you got to think about a few years back, and for early his career, salary wasn't as high as it is now.
Yeah, agreed.
And just him coming off the bench and the lack of respect, and a lot of teams use that, hey, you're our sixth man, and yet won't pay him like that. But I thought that was a good little fun fact. $8 million is like chump change. It's like,
Yeah, especially now. That's what rookies come in making them the first rounders. Like, yeah, that's nothing. But
I
again, like you
mean,
said, the times change. Times change.
it's crazy. Hey, before we go forward, bro, please, white, bro, is crazy, dog. Like,
What? It's chapstick. What you want me to do, man?
bro,
What?
you look like the member of the brats off of fucking. God damn.
It's listening. It'll be all right.
It's good. I ain't trying to play you, but I just thought that was hilarious. All right. Next, we have the John Morant suspension of 25 games. This came out right after our episode last week, so we're just now getting into it. Trey, what are you thinking, man? 25 games. 25 games.
Should have been more. Fucking should have been more. Cause he just got out of that situation. Like all this, I'm gonna be a better person and all that. We heard that before, Ja. And again, I know a lot of people is in that boat with me, saying that we heard it the first time and then you go do the same thing again. Should have been more. I was expecting more. I was expecting at least half a season. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was expecting at least half. But 25, if they feel like, I mean, it wasn't nothing illegal, so I get why they say 25. So I mean, I don't really care for it, but 25, it is what it is. But it should have been more.
I'm 100% with you on that. No arguing back from me. I was highly surprised when I saw 25 games. I honestly thought it was going to be at least 35. I mean, if we're talking an 82 game season,
Yeah,
he's suspended for roughly ish like a
little bit
quarter,
over a quarter. Yeah.
A little bit of a quarter. I'd say maybe like 27%. I'm just off the top of my head. I think that's a little light, maybe a third. I mean, I guess suspensions being a little bit more now just because of the minimums they want you to games to play for those yearly awards, and that's really what's going to hit him. He's going to take it on top of not getting his game salary. He's not going to be able to get his incentives on his contract. I'm assuming there are, so that's going to be another hit. And so we might see for suspensions going forward, they might be a little bit less than what we think, period, just because of those incentives are going to take a hit for a lot of players. I think that's going to come into effect. Again, I thought he was going to get at least 35. Half a season, I think I would be okay with. I think anything more than half a season is too much. I think just half a season is that perfect spot for Ja. Just because, fool me once, it happens, right? Fool me twice, that's on me. And I don't think the league learned their lesson. And Adam Silver just is showing that he's player first all the way around. I'm kind of surprised just being him as commish. And I think that they didn't learn. The NBA didn't learn their lesson. And I wouldn't be surprised if a situation like this came back up again from Ja. And it's just going to be a rough year for Ja. But if I'm him, if I'm Ja Morant and I'm suspended for 25 games, from here up until the end of that 25 game suspension, I'm doing extra work on my three. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm tired of these people going under the screen on me because they're not scared of my shot. And if I can work on it and, get my three up to, 35, 37%, that's a real threat, and my entire game improves around that. So I'm working on my shot, and we going from there. If he's not doing that, I don't think he's taking advantage of his time because, it is what it is. You can't really work on, how to safely put away your guns. So I really want him to work on a three-point shot. And Ja Wick, I think, will come back a lot stronger. That's just my opinion.
It's crazy you brought up that point about the whole the incentives with the whole, again, the suspensions and everything. That's a valid point, and I think that had to be considered in that decision making with that. So now that you have to think about that, that's valid. Because I mean, you talking about 25 games from 82, and if you talk about the minimums is what, like 55 or 65 now?
I'm not sure. I know it's somewhere around that. Yeah.
And that's still not including, like, let's be real, stuff is going to happen on the court where people get suspended or technical fouls and all that stuff. So yeah, I think that the league is definitely going more in the direction of just finding the hell out of people now. And the fines are going to be hefty, so it just doesn't just for people to actually feel like they're getting consequences. For some people, it's just throwing money or just signing a check, whatever. But for some of them that ain't getting the crazy bread, it's like, all right, let me chill out, let me not do that. So that's a valid point. I ain't think of it that way. So 25, it really is fair. It is.
What would you say to people that say that he didn't break a law, so why should he be suspended anyways?
He did it. I mean, it's not illegal to have a gun. It's just simple fact of his position in not only society, but again as an influencer, as a role model. Again, you don't not necessarily want to be one, but you are one to these kids. You're a face of a brand and all that. And that's what the NBA is trying to teach him. They're not trying to teach him, in my opinion, they're not trying to teach him to not have it or he sit there and say again because we've seen NBA players with these things in their homes. It's not a thing of and it's for safety reasons. It's more about the simple fact you're flashing it listening to a hip hop song. That's two different things. And they're just trying to teach you, dude, you can't do that. You're a face of the league, you're the face of Nike, all these other endorsements. You got to carry yourself in a better way. And that's what they're trying to mold him into being. And once he realizes that, he'll be all right.
Absolutely, I 100% agree with you. Speaking of guys who have just been popping up lately, we have seen several pictures of Draymond Green popping up and hanging out with LeBron at Paris Fashion Week. The boys are getting down, picking out, getting down with the new fashion. Not my type of thing. A lot of people took these pictures as he's obviously going to the Lakers. He opted out of his player option, so he most likely will not be back with the Warriors. But possibly, with the new moves that came out today, we'll get to that. But yes, so a lot of people take this. He's going to the Lakers. He's such a LeBron fan, and that he's
riding. Big rider. Don't say fan. He's a dick rider. He's a dick rider.
Bro, look, he's not a dick rider just because you got friends in the league. What's wrong with that, man? I'm 100% with you, bro. Hey, homie, want to go to Fashion Week? I'm with you. Like, if me and you went out to, a bar somewhere, we're not saying, oh, we dick riders. Like, come on, bro. Like, we just homies hanging out at Paris Fashion
That is not happening. I don't know if you saw this clip multiple times when they play each other, being the Lakers and Golden State. My man Draymond is literally chit-chatting with LeBron during the game. LeBron is walking over to the Golden State bench and laughing with him. And then there was this one scenario, you had Iguodala doing the hand motions with his hand of jerking his man off. And I agree, that's what Draymond does with LeBron. He's that much of a fan of his that it looks like he's dick riding. So if that's the case, it's just like, dude, we don't need to see that. Like, it's a point where y'all cool. You can be cool with somebody. We're not telling you can't be cool. But to the point where that happened during the regular season, during the playoffs, after they lost, it was just like, dude, when is enough enough? Like, okay, we get it. Y'all close friends. Y'all talk outside of basketball. Cool. But come on, dog. Like, you showcasing it to the world and that's supposed to be like your rival team and shit. We don't want to see that as fans. We want, like, you ain't see the old heads, Kobe and all them being friends with people during the game. No. Grow up.
I do think this is a new league and new generation. I do understand what you mean as far as like the optics look bad. Like you hanging with your enemy, essentially, that was your rival for so long. I get the optics behind it. Again, I do think this is a new league. I also understand the type of game that LeBron put Draymond on. Like I'm not saying he got him, but he essentially, they're signed to Clutch Sports, right? Mm-hmm. And, just being in that room is a big deal with connections and whatnot. I also think that if LeBron is the advocate for Draymond to sign with the Lakers, because the Warriors didn't want to pay him, didn't want to re-sign him to a new contract. I think that, hell, I'd be kind of thankful too. Like if bro can get me, 40 million, like I'm with you, bro. Like we locked in. You know what I'm saying? Like I get
Which
it.
he's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid his bread. I think he did. I don't think him declining that option is gonna like stir him away from Golden State. I still think he knows. Like, let's be real. Your career wouldn't be the same if you was with any other team. They wouldn't have utilized you the same, and you wouldn't have been the Draymond Green that everybody's gonna remember you for if you didn't play with this team. And not to say if it changes now, your legacy is damaged and all that. No. But let's be real. You going to LeBron or playing with them, that shit ain't gonna work. Honestly, that shit is not gonna work because Draymond got to have the ball in his hand to facilitate, and LeBron is still facilitating. So LeBron is literally going to still get his assists, and Draymond can't do shit else but pass and defend, obviously. So what else is he going to do there? I don't think he's going to go there. I think he declined it. If anything, he might take a pay cut to help the Warriors get better. Because him getting 27, in my opinion, is a lot. But he might just also just get an extension. I'm hearing a lot about like 3 year, 66 million or 60 mil to even out the length of the contract. The same with Steph, because Steph's contract is up in 3 years. So I think he might stick it out and just get it like a 3 year extension or some shit like that.
Well, you can't get an extension if you decline your
Not an
option.
extension, you know what I mean? He might get just signed a 3 year deal. Yeah,
You good? You good? Hey, did you pause? Did you start the YouTube live?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if we started at the same time. I mean, I don't think he'd be a good fit for production, bro. Production. I can't pay a production dude. We got you know what I'm saying, we gotta be on it. I do think that, if Draymond went to the Lakers, I don't think it would be a good fit. I think, to me, it's not a good fit as far as what LeBron really needs. I don't think Draymond's got it anymore. Like, he has some sparks coming off, with the Warriors. He even got benched. He got benched in the playoffs. Like,
exactly.
I want to get, if I'm LeBron, I want to get younger. Maybe some vets that's in the middle of their career, but I don't want Draymond who's at the absolute very end. It's not a good fit. There's no way around it. Not a good fit.
Some dogs can't learn new tricks, and all he know is pick, pass to Steph, pass to Clay. Don't try new tricks. You're the same old pony.
If he had his 3-point shot, I'd be all cool with it. I'd be good with it. But he doesn't have that anymore. And I think, I will criticize LeBron since I'm, always, the bad guy when it comes to talking to LeBron. I think that this is, something that we can critique LeBron about is, just because a player is your friend, that doesn't mean he'll be great on your team. Wade at the end of his career, we talked about that last week, is, Wade obviously is his friend. He wanted to bring him to Cleveland. It wasn't going to work out from the start. Everybody knew it was a bad move. Everybody was like, what? It just didn't make any sense. And so just because Draymond's your homie, that don't mean it's a great fit. That don't mean you should do it. And I think LeBron hasn't learned his lesson from that. Not saying, lay GM, but I just don't think he's learned his lesson from that instance of, I don't think he's learned his lesson.
Which, again, that leads us to the kind of the same area talking about the Lakers and LeBron and AD, because it's being reports that he's frustrated with, he's been frustrated, and now it's kind of just, it's the offseason, so everything's coming to light now like it normally does. But he's frustrated with how AD performed. When they needed him, he kind of shied away from the moment. He wasn't aggressive enough, being the major thing. I know last show we was talking about how certain bigs specifically are getting soft, and LeBron doesn't want that for AD. LeBron, of course, wants you to be the dog that, I'm not gonna say he always is, because he's not, but he does want AD to be the dog. He wants him to be Batman and kind of take the back seat role a little bit. And AD just doesn't always have that in him. Some days he does, some days he doesn't. And I can understand LeBron's frustration with, if that is true. I can understand his frustration with that. I don't think it's going to change anything. I don't think they're going to seek trades and all that. And I don't think so. No, I think they're a good fit. If anything, they'll add something to it, but I don't think they're going to break them up. No.
Yeah, I'm not. I get him being frustrated, but you can't be frustrated and having to depend on someone like that at the same time. You understand what I mean? Like, we're used to LeBron being Superman, right? And him doing everything himself. Well, now you're at the end of the career and you're a little bit more dependent upon your teammates. You can't be frustrated because you are I'm okay. I don't want you to get this wrong because you're seeing it as me defending AD. I'm not defending AD. What I'm saying is LeBron put himself in this position where he is dependent upon AD because he's not who he is anymore, right? This isn't prime LeBron, right? So you're frustrated. Big fucking deal, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't. What are you gonna do? What is your frustration gonna do? Oh my! Like, are you gonna trade AD? I don't see that happening. If you did, I'd be highly surprised.
It's supposed to toughen his little light skin behind up.
You can't toughen up somebody who's went through injuries, the same injuries that Dwight kind of went through, and he didn't come back as far as back injuries. It's not the same. You can't. There's no, hey, get over your injuries. Like, we already know he's not as tough as what, the mass public would want him to be. So there's nothing you can do. You can be frustrated, but that's who you chose to come with you, and you got to stick with him because essentially you picked him. So, it was your choice. It's, be frustrated all you want, but
it's you made the bed, not lie in it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, we're moving on to a big trade that happened today. And first, Chris Paul got traded from the Suns in the Beal trade to the Wizards. Well, now the Wizards, no one wants to be a Washington a Wizard. Nobody wants to be there. So Chris Paul pretty much said he wasn't going to be there, and so they ended up trading him to the Golden State Warriors for Jordan Poole for a first and a second. So Trey, I'll let you start off unless you want me to start off, but go ahead.
Thank freaking God. That is the first thing. I am so glad this happened. Jordan Poole was just getting on my freaking nerves, and the way he was carrying himself in the whole playoffs.
Wow.
I'm so glad this happened.
For who? Who are you glad this happened?
For the Warriors. I'm glad this happened for the Warriors.
Right.
I'm happy I am a Stephen Curry fan. I am so glad this happened. Because it's okay, it's all right.
No, man.
That you're getting on Draymond's nerves. But when you start getting on Steph's nerves, that's a problem. That's when you got to go. The fact that they had these situations where Steph would try to come to Jordan Poole and try to talk to him mid-game, and you dusted him off like he wasn't nobody. You can't do that to the face of the franchise. You cannot do that. And let alone, this is the star player, top 3 player in the league, and this is what you're doing? You're crazy. You're crazy. It was about time. They overpaid him, and he became that player. Once he got the bag, he became a bum. You could drop 20 in the regular season, sure. It's the regular season. Who gives a shit? But then when the playoffs come, you go completely MIA. Like, you forgot how to shoot the ball. You turn the ball over. You never played defense. I think it was a good trade. Let alone, again, you just signed to a 4-year, $128 million. No, get rid of that, please. You could spend that on somebody else that actually would earn, or not gonna say he didn't earn it, but somebody who would work towards it and try to be best for the team. He was not putting the team first. He wasn't. All he cared about was making himself look good for the light-skinned biddies in the crowd. That's all he cared about.
I think if you think trading for a 38-year-old Chris Paul is good for the Warriors, you have something else coming for you, and you're wrong. I think that Jordan Poole was in the middle of his development, and he's still relatively young. And if they would have stuck by him, actually continued to develop him, I think it would have been a lot better. I think if you got rid of Draymond, it fixes some of the Jordan Poole issues. I think, again, if you stand by Jordan Poole and let him develop, things turn into something better. But trade him for a 38-year-old point guard who is, when you need him most, having hamstring issues or groin issues, I think is a big mistake. I don't see how that works out. And on top of that, you trade a first and a second round pick. So now you're screwing yourself now with Chris Paul, and you're screwing yourself in the future with the first and second round picks.
When 70 years from now. 70 years from now. It was like 2030, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know. I didn't see the years for it.
It was like 2030, I think that first round pick was.
Was it really?
It was.
Can you even do that?
Yeah, that's yeah.
I thought they stopped that. I thought they put a limit on there or whatever. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I still think trading for a 38-year-old Chris Paul is just wrong. Either way, you're still, again, it's still the future, and you want those first and second. I feel like that's a big mistake. I feel like you had the future with you in Jordan Poole, and you didn't let him develop. And
They can't.
What do you mean they can't?
They still have Steph and Clay, and they're not trying to let go of their dynasty that they built. They're not trying to let it go. So how do you expect Jordan Poole to develop? And Klay Thompson is not coming off the bench. He's not. No, not this year or next year, probably. Maybe third year, maybe, if he comes back. But he's not coming off the bench next year and the year after. So Jordan Poole, what else? How can he fully develop if he's not being treated as a starter? Which, again, for other teams, he would probably be a starter.
You can still develop as long as you get playing time. And I'm assuming he would get more playing time this year than what he did last year. Why not?
How? It's the same team. It's the same team coming back. The same.
No, it's not. If you get rid of Draymond, okay.
They're not getting rid of Draymond.
But they are. He's not signed to the team.
Now,
he's not. If he does, I'm not gonna shoot it down because I do think it's a possibility. I don't think it'd be a good possibility. I think they would be even crazier for re-signing Draymond. But it's just, you got to stick by him. You find a way. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you get your minutes. Because they don't have another player on that bench that is willing to put up what Jordan Poole could put up.
That's why a young player. If you get I'm not saying Chris Paul is going to come in doing that. No. Chris Paul is just going to come in, do his little middies, and facilitate like normal. But again, he's coming off the bench doing it. And now you have a veteran point guard. So, again, if Klay's having a bad game, you could take his behind out, put Chris Paul in, and you can move Steph to the 2. It gives you a reliable option. You can't after the last playoffs, and people have their slumps. But after the last playoffs and the way the team was going, I don't think you could just sit there and afford to go have a whole nother season, a regular season of being okay, and then the playoffs of a slump like that happening again because you don't like one bench player doesn't like a starter. That's too much drama. That's too much like petty little bullshit. And that's what he is right now. He's drama. Sad to say. Again, that's not all him.
How is he the drama? He's the one that got punched in the face.
Again, it's not just the fact of him getting punched. It's also the fact he's not willing to listen to anybody else. Again, Steph came to him. Steph didn't punch you in the face. What are you dusting him off for? Multiple times. And it shows. Nobody can talk to him because he didn't give a fuck. He didn't. So I bet.
I think he's going
to send you to the worst team. The worst team in the league. And we're going to say, do you. We're going to see what you're all about. You have no system. All about you now. Go. Bye.
I do think, yes, he showed that he wasn't disciplined at times. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. I also understand that a player, there's a certain ego you got to have. Like, I'm trying to think of somebody like Lou Williams had his moments, bro. Like, especially young Lou Will. You think young Lou Will was just chilling? Or I'm trying to think. Give me somebody. Give me somebody that just put buckets up. Monte Ellis. Like, Steph know about him, bruh. Like, he won an angel at times. He wasn't the best. He wasn't always teachable.
And look what they did. When you argue with Steph, again, it's a difference between Draymond and Steph. When you argue with Steph, you got to go. This is the most I feel like he's the most likable player in the league. Like, even if you want to hate him, you can't. And the fact that you won't even listen to him, nah, bro. It's time to hit the road. It really is.
I don't think he totally didn't listen to stuff. I feel like you're overplaying it a little bit.
Did
Like,
you not watch? The motherfucker was clapping for the ball, and this motherfucker shooting from half court, and he 0 for 5. What the fuck are you doing?
yes,
Bruh, he was a nut, bro.
He's got he's got moments, but at the same time, he did produce. Now, I do think the playoffs, he did produce. You know, he did. He had moments where this man was crazy. Like, he put up anything and he just fucking go in. But he had those moments. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he was as bad as what you think he is. I think he had moments of that, and so I do understand that perspective, and I'm with you on it. But, you know, you got to be a little insane to put up some of the shots he did and put up some of the numbers he did, too. So I think you kind of play into it, and I think what the Warriors have done so far is, like, you know, they let Draymond be a little bit kooky and crazy, and, like, even if it hurts the team. So why not be able to do that with Jordan Poole, who's actually gonna put up some numbers for you? You get what I'm saying? And I feel like you pick and choose. I feel like they pick and choose when, you know, they want to support somebody like that. I feel like you get rid of Draymond at the end of his career, who's not helping you as much. You stick by Jordan Poole, who can put up them shots like that, and you just roll with it. Okay. How about this? What does Chris? You touched on it earlier. What does Chris Paul add to this team? What does he add to the team?
Veteran experience off the bench.
They got that. They already got that. Off the bench. You said off the bench.
Yes, off the bench.
But let's be honest. You tell me the starters can't talk to the bench like that? Like,
we're gonna act like the bench is not used in the playoffs. I'm confused.
We're gonna act like is the bench and the starters in a whole different damn room, or are they still sharing the same? Are they on the same team? Right? Your starters can. What I'm saying is they have veteran experience. Period. They can still talk to the bench and still help them in practice. You don't need Chris Paul to like. Chris Paul isn't just gonna be helping that bench. Like, they had the pure lineup anyway, where it, you know, like, you got some of your bench players playing with your starters sometimes. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. I just feel like that's not needed. You have plenty of championship experience that fucking Chris Paul can't fucking help with that. Let's be honest. So what else does he add to the team? Go ahead. I'll let you go.
I mean, that's the main one. The veteran experience that's coming off the bench now. You also have somebody else, another ball handler. So now you have another person that is Draymond doesn't always have to break up the cheat. Do we
really know for sure if he's coming onto the bench? I think he should. I'm saying he should. But if
you think they're gonna start him? No.
If you got Clay at the 3,
and you're gonna push Andrew Wiggins to the 4 and Draymond at the 5, you're gonna start the small ball lineup? No.
I think Wiggins would be okay with coming off the bench too. I mean, I'm not saying that should happen. I'm just saying.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, why not?
No, you're crazy. There's no way. He's not coming off the bench.
He's
your best two-way player. Honestly, he's the best two-way player.
No, I agree with you. I'm not saying Wiggins is. I'm not saying it's a bad thing him coming off the bench. Just like you saying Chris Paul coming off the bench isn't a bad thing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Essentially, what I'm getting at is, like, I think they do have a veteran-heavy team, including Chris Paul. I think they're a little bit more comfortable if they can play around with that lineup a little bit more as far as who's coming off the bench. Either way, I don't know if Chris Paul's ego can handle coming off the bench. I just don't think he can. He might have to, and I think that might cause some problems because I think Chris Paul, again, wants things ran his way and how he wants it. So, again, I don't think he's going to be comfortable coming off the bench or okay with it. If he does, I'll be highly surprised. Carmelo, it took him a couple years to accept that bench role. But I don't know. Do you think he'd be okay with it?
I think he would be. I think he realizes that he is on the downside of his career, and I think the less minutes he's giving, he'll be more productive when he is and effective when he is on the court. So the minutes that he does play, I think it will show his impact on the game. I think he'll be able to do that and stay healthier because he's not asked to do as much. And yeah, like I said, the old because of his age and his current injuries that or his recent injuries rather that he's been having, I think it'll allow him to stay fresh so when the playoffs do come around, he'll be there. Because again, he couldn't stay on the court recently, and that was the problem. But his stats was on the decline anyway. So with that being said, now that your minutes are getting cut down, you'll be more efficient or ineffective on the court. I think you'll see that if he does stay with Golden State. It is up in the air. They it was a report saying that they Golden State wasn't going to waive him. I want to see him stay. I think this gives him a chance at getting a ring. I'm not saying he is ring chasing, but I do think this is an opportunity for him. And yeah, I'm curious to see how it works. I am.
Do you think this is gonna be another like D'Angelo Russell to the Warriors type of deal, where they keep him for a little bit and then they?
Nah, because he's making too much. I mean, he's making 30 mil.
Hey, but that is on par with what Jordan Poole is making right now, and so I think that's why a main reason why the trade went through is because it was pretty much a even salary swap.
Yeah, it is. Jordan Poole is about to get 28, and Butch Call's getting 30. So again, it's a two mil difference and all of that. And again, it's just you don't have to deal with the headache of pretty boy over here anymore. So yeah,
Man, I think he, I don't know. Man, I personally, I really enjoyed watching Jordan Poole on the Warriors. I'm
well,
gonna
you
miss
ain't
it,
gonna
man.
watch him no more. So bye. Have fun in Washington.
Bro, they really sent this man the gulag, bro. That shit crazy as fuck, bro. They really, you never gonna hear from this man again. It's so sad. I still think he will have success though with the with the Wizards as far as in terms of him having his own team and kind of because it's a difference when you had backup from those veterans you had with the Warriors, and now you really by yourself, and it's like, hey, I gotta make this happen. Especially if he's gonna, I'm assuming he's gonna want to be sent somewhere else. I'd be highly surprised if he just like is okay.
So he's gonna be a journeyman. Got you. Yeah. You fucked it up for yourself because you couldn't be a man about the situation and just play ball. But sticking with Washington,
crazy.
Sticking with Washington and their trades that they did, starting with the Beal trade. What's your what's your opinion about Bradley Beal going to Phoenix?
Bradley Beal going to Phoenix. I think I'm not confident in the move. I think that you have 3-star players and you got one ball, and it ain't enough to go around. I look at it like this: is who is going to end up doing the dirty work for Phoenix? At this point in his career, it's not going to be Kevin Durant. It's not going to be Devin Booker. Is Bradley Beal going to be the guy who really is the screen, the guy who's setting the best screens, who's getting a lot of rebounds? I don't know. I think he's going to have to be if there's any kind of success. Also, this roster really has to get filled out. And if I'm them, the perfect move would be kind of what the Miami Heat did with in the LeBron years, right? Where they had a whole bunch of guys who were like the Shane Battiers, whereas a lot of 6'6" to 6'9", Juwan Howard. Technically, he was on the bench, but who cares? But those same guys that were in that middle section of just positionless basketball. And I think that's what they need. Guys that can be great at setting screens and be great at getting rebounds and play solid defense. And if you have that, you can, that ball will go around to all three of those guys you really want. We still don't know what DeAndre Ayton's what's gonna happen with him. I'm going into it assuming he's gonna stay on the team. Okay. But that's where I'm at right now. I'm not confident in the move, and if I had to bet, I don't think it's going to turn out great just because I see it. Those are like Olympic years, right? Yeah. You have so much talent on the team and nobody really wants to do the dirty work. But go ahead. What do you think?
I somewhat agree with that. I do think putting Devin Booker at the 1 now, I think is clear and obvious. I do think Bradley Beal could have possibly went other places. Again, he had a no trade clause, so he clearly accepted this. Of course, KD, Mr. Super Team himself, is going to sit here and say, "Sure, come on over." He can't get enough of super teams apparently, but he hasn't learned his lesson. But I mean, I'm curious to see how it works. I don't necessarily think it's going to work. I think again, it's still like Bradley Beal's coming from a team where he was always the best scorer on the team. Even when John Wall was with the Wizards, who was the better pure scorer? You would say Bradley Beal. And now I feel like you went from the number one option, even after John Wall left. Clearly, nobody else was on Washington. Now you go from the number one option to the number three option. That's a big gap difference for somebody with his kind of ego. So I don't think it's necessarily going to work out. They're going to go through their ups and downs at first. I'm hoping it does. But I don't think it is. No, I think again they still have to play defense. I still think again when it comes down, if you're down two and somebody's hot, who's getting the ball? In certain situations, on certain teams, regardless, somebody could be 0 for 30 and they still going their superstar, their star best player is still going to shoot that rock. On this team, Devin Booker, I feel like is not really handing it off to KD. But KD, we all know, is the better scorer, or he could get up a better shot. So and now you add in another ego guy in Bradley Beal. I don't know. I think they're going to have their ups and downs though. I'm curious to see how this works out.
I 100% agree with you. I want KD getting the ball in clutch time every single time, no matter what. And the problem is Kevin Durant isn't that vocal to say, "Hey, this is me. This is me." Book, I know you good, you straight, but you're not as consistent as I am when it comes to those clutch shots. And I think because he's not vocal enough, that's going to be another issue. Communication was a big thing when it came to the Heat's big three. I also think you have to come up with specific roles for this team. It can't just be kind of like what it was in the playoffs where it's like, "Oh, you get the ball, I get the ball, I get the ball." This back and forth you can't have happen. Right? So with that being said, again, Bradley Beal has to do that dirty work. He has to be someone who's willing to do more of that. Still get his 20 points a game. That would be a good solid number for me. But really focus on the defensive side and getting your rebounds and setting screens. If that's what he specializes in every single day, I want him coming in, working on that stuff every single day, and then literally just focus on that. I think he'll be straight. The other two guys, they really got to figure out. You have to get your role down. You have to figure, and I think ball movement is going to be something very underrated that they don't really worry about, and that was a problem for the Heat for a good little bit. It really was and they had to sprinkle Mario Chalmers in a little bit more to get that true, passer around. And I think that was, I think they got it down in Brooklyn for a little bit. When they really let Harden be the guy who spreads the ball around, and that was his solid role, I think they did great. And injuries kind of messed that up again. But I do think that, ball movement is something you really got to focus on. And if Dev Book, he's going to have to work on that if they really want him to be at the point, heavy on the point, they got to focus on that. But I think if you really get your roles down, you fill out that roster, get those roles down, you'll be just fine. But the Suns can only...
That's a lot.
The Suns can only... sign people to minimum contracts. That's rough, man. I mean the Heat had to do that though. The Heat had to do that. So I mean, what do you? This roster is gonna look real ugly because just like the Heat had Joel Anthony, throwback, son. It's the Suns are gonna have to have some no names like that, and it's gonna look ugly. It's not gonna look pretty. That roster is what the
Nets had. It's the same shit, different city, man. It's the same shit. It's the same shit the Nets had. The Nets, when all three of them was there, they had no role players, and that was their problem, and they couldn't mesh and all that. The same thing is gonna happen. That's why you don't get three people that's super max like that. That's just. But they did it. They going obviously say it's gonna work out. we'll see how it works, but I ain't too fond of that. I'm not.
I
I'm not.
do. I don't like the fact that the Wizards didn't get one first round pick. I don't like that
Mm,
for Bill. That just tells me that you traded him way too late. Still don't get why they couldn't have got a better deal
and,
from somewhere else. I mean, I
yeah,
guess he had to accept it, so that plays into it because of the
yeah.
trade clause. But you tell me you couldn't get one first round pick? Like that's what your rebuild. That's the purpose of your rebuild is to be able to draft those guys in the first round, and you can't do that because you didn't get one for them.
To get value, yeah, to get
It,
value and to get younger,
if
and they
Chris
did nothing.
Paul if Chris Paul is worth a first round pick, I don't care if it's 5 years from now. I don't care. You come on, man. Bradley Bills are worth at least one. You fucking tripping. Fucking tripping.
Staying with the Wizards and the other trade they did, giving away
Woo,
Porzingis to
woo,
Boston,
woo. Go
and
ahead.
Boston sending Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies, and the Wizards getting back Tyus Jones, some picks. Boston getting two. Is it two first round picks? I know they're getting at least one. They're getting a first round and a second round.
No,
And
it's two first. It's two first. It's
okay,
two
so
first.
two first, one being this year and the other one being possibly next year. Boston got a steal. I think they got first if the Porzingis doesn't work out, they get draft picks. But on top of the fact, they get rid of a guard that again was the vocal leader for that team and was the heart of Boston. He was the Draymond Green of Boston, being the heart and soul of that team. And they unloaded that contract, get Porzingis, who got a kind of a big contract too. But again, it's like they're trying to prepare possibly if they don't keep Jalen Brown. So I understand that, and I do think it was a good move for them. So I'm curious to see if they do keep Brown, because if they do, I don't see why Porzingis would agree to that trade. In my opinion, I think it was
They,
a bad idea,
wow.
and it's
Okay.
in the sense of you didn't like really being a number two option. Now you're getting pushed back if they keep Jalen Brown, if they sign him. Now you're gonna be a number three option. You really think you're gonna stand around there and just stand in the corner of the 3 point line and just catch and shoot everything now? You're gonna be okay with that because that's what you was complaining about before. I don't think it was the best fit for him. I think it was other teams out there he could have been more utilized. I know he's coming off the best season of his career, health wise and uh production wise, but I don't necessarily think Boston was the right move for him.
Gotcha. How do you feel about the other side of that?
Oh, the Grizzlies, that was smart. Like I said, you get a leader for that young locker room, somebody to hopefully mentor Ja Wick over there. You get for the games that he's going, you got somebody that could stand their ground. Um, he's gonna most likely come off the bench and be a six man again. So now you have a solidified six man for Tyus Jones, who was the best six man in my opinion last year. You replace him, and but again, it's with a veteran. It's with somebody who's been through the ups and downs. I think it was a good move for them. And I think Washington again, it's a rebuild. Tyus Jones gets his own team. He gets to start alongside pretty light skin over there, and they get to see how that works out for a few years.
Yeah, nah, yeah, nah. I think you made some really good points. Stole some points that I have written down, but that's fine too. Uh, this is where I'm at with the Porzingis trade. I think the Celtics got a win-win, right? I think Porzingis helps them now, most likely. I think you got an investment in your future with the two first-round picks.
Uh,
I think that the one thing that hurt Porzingis when he was with the Mavericks, I think, was that offense is really slow.
mm,
And so I think the Celtics run a faster pace. I think he can shoot the threes he wants to now.
mm,
I think that he'll have his possessions now to do some of his post moves and do his little thing in the post that he want to do. And I think it just helps. Just overall, I think with the Wizards, I think he got humbled a little bit. Just going to Gulag, I think I think it just helps him a lot.
The Gulag.
Yeah, fucking Gulag, bro. Ain't nobody want to be there. And I think it. Am I saying it wrong?
No, you're right.
All right, bro. I don't know nothing about Fortnite though. I just,
First thing, that's not.
Oh,
Fortnite,
Warzone.
Yo,
My bad.
Don't ever disrespect the card like that.
Up.
Don't ever disrespect the card like that.
Ah, God. Anyways, I think that from what I remember hearing a rumor back, I don't know where it came from, was that he was good with doing some of the dirty work. I keep bringing this up, but being in that specific position of setting the screens and getting dirty in the paint, from what I was told when he was with the Wizards. Now, is that still a concern because of what happened with the Mavericks? Absolutely. But I think if any team, I think he'll fit in a lot better as far as trying to get points on transition. I think he's in a perfect position to really impact on defense. I think that's perfect for him. I think that, again, the Celtics getting 2 first-round picks, perfect. I'm all good with that. I love that. You have something moving forward where hopefully you bang on one of the 2 first-round picks, and hopefully you get somebody going to the future. You can get on a cheap contract for a couple years. You're set. I think that's perfect. I think that Marcus Smart going to the Grizzlies. I think, again, my number one point that I wrote down was that he could be there for Ja Wick. Be somebody who really puts his foot down. Ja ain't gonna talk crazy to Marcus Smart. I don't think he's scared of him, but I think he respects him as a vet. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, when you got the blicky, held up at somebody, you can talk to him as crazy as you want.
They gonna pull the strap out on Marcus Smart, and Marcus gonna look at him like, "You ain't about that life, homie. Chill out." You ain't about that life. Chill out.
But I think a veteran on that Grizzlies team is much needed. Not just because of Ja Morant, but like, Steven Adams is from Australia, right? Or what is it? Australia or maybe one of the other ones? New Zealand. Which one is it? Bro, they got the same fucking accent, bro.
I never remember.
He's from New Zealand or Australia. I think he's from Australia. I could be wrong. No, he's from New Zealand, bro. He's in New Zealand. Shit's important. It's a big difference. I'm international, cuz. Come on.
I can't.
I think that... did you have a shot before we did this?
No.
Oh, I thought you was... Oh, you just tired.
I should have.
You just tired, cuz.
My eyes contact.
But yeah, I think a veteran is super important for that team, especially defensively. I think I think one thing that Marcus Smart can do for the Grizzlies is really bring that team together and be that type of presence. They don't have that yet.
Agreed.
And maybe Ja would stop hanging with his gang friends and be more involved with the team.
What you mean? He gonna pull up with his colored blue hair now and be like, "What's up?" Nah, what you talking about?
What's the other side of the trade? Who we talking about?
Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones going to the Wizards. I think, I think that's a great signing. Again, he was one of the best backup, point guards in the game last year. I think they was like, fuck that man, bro. Like, just send him to the gulag, bro. It's crazy. And I feel bad for him, man.
Have you watched him play? He's a beast.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm Tyus Jones. I'm a big fan. He's
a beast. He's a beast. That's why I'm again, him with Jordan Poole now. Again, you got a point guard who knows how to run a show in the sense of a system and actually playing the right way. And hopefully he could try to contain the other little motherfucker. I don't think it's gonna be possible, but we'll see how it works. But I like what Washington is doing. Just get rid of everybody and rebuild. Just start fresh.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. I think another point that you kind of touched on, I'm gonna kind of put it in a different way, is that they replaced Dylan Brooks, but they also, I think they combined. One thing with Marcus Smart that's great about him is that you pretty much combine Dylan Brooks with Tyus Jones, and you just put that job together, and essentially you're getting a lot more for the salary, right? I think you combine those jobs of those two guys, and I think that's what you touched on, but I just want to push that a little bit more. Is that they have essentially your Tyus Jones and Dylan Brooks combined with Marcus Smart.
I like that.
But I'm good. If I'm a team, I don't want Marcus Smart. I'm good. I don't like him, bro. He just.
I don't like because he be flopping too much, but that's a different subject.
I'm all good with flopping.
What? Who says that out loud? What's wrong with you?
Wait, I'm good with flopping. Flopping gives me points. I want to score. I want to win.
Oh, pray to God!
I want to win. I want to win.
Those. Oh my God!
I'm all for it, bro. Now, if they change the rule, if they change the rules, I'm against flopping.
Why would I expect anything else from a LeBron fan?
But if Jordan could flop and get a free throw, he probably would. But
no, he wouldn't.
Those weren't the rules back in the day. Yes, he would. He would adapt to rules. Kobe,
right? Kobe or MJ is not doing that, and that's why they not LeBron. Anyway,
you push the rules. All right, let's get this thing moving though.
Tonight it is the NBA draft. It's about to be 8:00. It's about to start, but they got to go through their little presentations and all of that. We already know who the first pick is, being Victor. I'm not going to say his last name. I'm not going to butcher it.
Wemby. Call him Wemby because I made a mistake. Wemby. We go Wemby.
Victor Wemby.
Or just say Wemby.
I only know one Spurs fan in my life, so I know he's ecstatic about this. Do you think he is worth the number one pick? Do you think talent-wise, do you think he is worth the number one pick?
No, I think he's worth the number one pick. I'm not gonna. I bashed him last week on this podcast. Not really bashed him. I feel like that's a strong word, but he's a great first round pick. He's a great first pick.
He's a first great. Oh my God!
He's a great first pick. Okay, for tonight's draft. But if I was the Spurs, I would be okay with either Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson, and I'd be fine with all three. To be honest, I think we're gonna look back at this draft tonight and see it very similar to that D-Wade, Carmelo, LeBron draft.
I agree with that.
And I don't think a lot of people are in that same state of mind that we are, but that's how I see it going. How it's going. Do you have any concerns about Wemby at all?
No, because if this guy, if Victor ends up going to Giannis camp for one summer and comes back cut like Giannis, it is over for the league. And that is what I believe is going to happen. The guy is 19 years old. Not even the guy. The kid is 19 years old. And people, all you hear about is his being skinny. I mean, even he kind of talked about it and was just like, oh, skinny is the new thing. I mean, it is. But again, you still have to have a career and have longevity and all that. But I do think he's going to gain weight. He's going to gain some kind of muscle. And that's the only thing anybody can say about him, because anything else, the guy can do. So let's be real. When he gains that, if he gets that, it is over. I mean, over.
According to him and his trainer, they've already talked to the Spurs and just NBA teams in general when they've done like interviews. He doesn't want to gain any weight at all. He wants to stay exactly what he is. So I don't know about the whole gaining muscle. I mean, I think it's needed, but he doesn't want any. He doesn't want to gain fat, muscle. He wants to be exactly what he is. I think naturally, as he gets older, just as we all do, we gain. We start to fill out a little bit more, especially him being so young.
Exactly. Exactly. Like some of the stuff you're not gonna be able to control. Like you're 19. Of course, you're gonna say that now, but the older you get, bro, you're gonna gain weight. You're not gonna stay the same weight. You're not getting lighter. Like let's be real. So the only way to go is up in regards to weight, unless you're dying.
I would say moving on to the next subject, which is Scoot Henderson. I watched some tape on Scoot Henderson, and all I'm gonna say is there was a couple plays that he had when he went against Victor, and bro, I was beyond impressed. Like I'm all I said last week. I'm on the Scoot Henderson train. I think he's very similar. Like he's to me, he's like a mesh between. Don't take this out of context, but he's a mesh between Russell Westbrook and LeBron in terms of driving to the hoop, in terms of still being able to dish the ball out, not just like LeBron, but like kind of like when LeBron first came into the league, that type of vision where it's not 100% LeBron yet, but he has those capabilities. Scoot is going to struggle developing his three just because he doesn't have a lot of confidence with it. And he's really good on the dribble pull up, but like a catch and shoot, it's not there yet at all. The threes I'm talking about is like right on the line. Like don't ask him to go a foot back.
From deep. I know, bro. I do shot 27.5% last year in the G League or whatever we want to call that league. That's horrible for a point guard. That's horrible. Like not even 30. That's horrible.
Yep.
And he only shot between 2 to 3 times a game with those threes. But as a point guard, you can't be either you're going to be freakishly athletic like Ja Morant, or you're going to be like you said, like Russell, and just be crazy aggressive, and your willpower is going to and your athleticism is going to over exceed everything else. I do think he has to develop a three, and that's why he went to Steph Curry camp. He's there now. I mean, well, not now, but you know what I mean. He was during the summer. He was training with Steph to improve his three. That's what I like about the kid. The dude is willing to get better, and I think the more he does that over his career, I do think talent-wise, unless Victor gets that damn Giannis build, I do think talent-wise, Scoot will be the better talent out of this draft. I'm gonna say it now. I do think he'll be the better talent. Not to say he'll be the better player, because I think the system and all that comes into factor, but I do think he'll be the better talent, pure talent-wise. I do think he'll be the best.
I'm right there with you. I think Scoot Henderson has the perfect base to work with, to be able to teach, because of his driving speed. I can teach you, what reads to make after that. And I think, again, watching his interviews, to me, he has the confidence and he wants the ball. Like he's not shy about that. And I think, having that base to work with, I think the sky's the limit. And, we can work on the shot. That's fine with me. As long as, it doesn't hinder everything else. Mm-hmm. I think it's a lot we can compliment. If he goes to a organization that's willing to be patient with him and be able to work with the skill set he already has, he'll be just fine. He'll be just fine in the NBA. I'm so excited to see him, man. I know everybody's excited to see Victor, but I really want to see Scoot just fucking cook, man. Like he really excites me just watching him, and he could do a little bit of everything besides shoot. Besides shoot, he could do a little bit of everything.
And then I feel like we're forgetting about Brandon. Brandon, I think the dude is a fucking scorer. Like, I think the dude can score in all three phases. He can score at the rim. He could definitely shoot that thing. He's not afraid to keep shooting, even if he is off. Seeing his field goal percentage or his field goal attempts, like during the tournament when he's cold, he's gonna keep shooting. Why? Because he knows he's a scorer. That's what you want out of a player, let alone again a pure scorer. That's what you want out of him. So I do think, my personal opinion, I do think him going to Charlotte would be best because he'll get those attempts. He'll be able to flourish playing next to LaMelo, because I don't think him and LaMelo and Scoot will work out. which leads me to that whole what's
You
going to
don't think
happen at
so?
3.
You don't
Nah,
think so?
nah.
I
That's
I think that
no.
would be a great combination.
They both need the ball, man. They both need the ball. That wouldn't work. Um,
I think it would be a great combination. But yeah, go ahead.
why? Why do you say that? I'm curious.
Because I would like to see Scoot on those on driving off the ball. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. I would like to see him like trying to work behind defenders to drive to the basket and get that beautiful pass from Melo. You know what I'm saying? Like working behind defenders. I think that would be great to see. I also think it'll be a great third pass, LaMelo to Scoot, and then Scoot. Bruh, Scoot's passing is super underrated. So I feel like just the ball being spread out between the two of them, I think would be a perfect rhythm. I think, and with Scoot being able to get that penetration back to Melo, out to whoever. Like I think it is a perfect skill set. I think it's what. I mean, they don't know what they're doing with Bridges. Let's be honest. We don't know
They
what's
want him
happening.
back. They want him back.
Well, actions speak louder than words. I haven't seen anything besides that. So
They
I
want him
haven't
back.
seen anything. They can say what they want, but I think if Scoot would be a cheaper option, unless they sign, are they going to sign Bridges to that deal
They trying to.
that he wanted? Because if that's, I can just get Scoot for the cheap and go from there. I ain't got to pay Bridges.
Nah.
I think that'd be perfect. I think that'd be a great. I think either one of them would be a great combination between Brandon Miller. I think obviously Brandon Miller because of his shooting skills. I think that the one thing that makes Brandon Miller stand out is that he is a two-way player and that he can play just good on defense as he does offense, and he's willing to do both. I think him being 6'9" helps Hucking on defense. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's got somewhat of a thin frame, but I mean, again, he'll develop and get older and get a little bit wider. I think that his shot is so smooth, man. I love it. It's like it glides off and it just hangs in the air. It's like some shit off of Air Bud. Like
Wow.
it's like a shot that just hangs in the air and it's so beautiful. And again, you touched on it a little bit, but him being a shooter, it's great when the ball is going in. It's not great when it's not going in.
Yeah.
And I think that's a struggle every shooter is gonna have. He has a beautiful just bag. I think he had some great
I
shots. His pull ups, crazy. His step backs, crazy. Just the amount of room he can get really impressed me. And again, Brandon Miller has such a beautiful shot. It just I was amazed. And I'm just really excited to see all three of them, man. Like I think, God, this is gonna, not a lot of people are hype about it, but I'm hype about it just because I loved watching all three of them play.
Well, speaking of which, the thing is, the draft is on right now, and San Antonio is about to pick obviously Victor first. But I'm keeping my eyes open for anything breaking news trade wise.
How much time?
The pick is in already. They took a minute to not even a whole minute. It was
To fake
45
pretend?
seconds. Yeah, 45 seconds before the pick was in.
Well, while we're doing that, while we're waiting for the pick to come in, we can talk about our streaming schedule. Obviously, we stream on YouTube Live. We stream on Kick, 7 p.m. every Thursday. 7 p.m. every Thursday unless something happens and we give an update on social media. But 7 p.m. on Thursdays, we are streaming live. We're going to beautify this streaming setup in the next couple weeks. And it's going to look a lot better for you guys. Make it look completely legit. And like we run an actual sports show. So that is the goal. But yeah, if you want to check us out, keep checking us out. Make sure you hit the follow button. And again, 7 p.m. every Thursday.
Appreciate all the people coming through on the social medias. Appreciate the comments. You taking the time to actually comment and give us whatever feedback in regards to the clip. If you liked it, you didn't like it, screw you, fuck you, whatever. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's the energy we going with. And going forward, on to the next thing, we would like to thank our sponsor, DREADSOCK, for being number one in hair protection. If you have locks or just a protective hairstyle, make sure you look them up on dreadsock.com. Instagram page is popping too. We have a commercial we're going to play for them, and we're going to get going. Here you go. All right, we are back. Has the pick came in yet?
They are, to my knowledge, just going through right now. But I am on the Wi-Fi, so it might be a little bit slow.
Oh hell!
But
all right,
but yes, it is officially in. Yes.
All right, good stuff.
They did pick Victor.
Did they? They picked Victor?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I guess. I mean, could have went Scoot Henderson, but
whatever.
I feel like you hate me for that. I feel like it's Scoot Henderson, bro.
Ridiculous. 7'5" and can dribble and shoot. You're ridiculous. There's no way in the world.
I want to see it. Okay, this is my major pushback against Victor. We're going down here because you're making me. Is the fact I want to see him play in the NBA or just American basketball. Like, I don't want to see him in his Paris league. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see it. I want to see legit him.
You about to. Don't worry about it. You're going to become a believer soon. You'll become a believer soon.
I can't. When I see that first video highlight of him getting locked up, I'm gonna send it to you so fast.
I'm happy for the Spurs. I'm happy for the Spurs.
I guess. What a boo. No one gives a fuck about the Spurs. All right. Anyways, let me not knock them. All right. NFL topics. I'll let you lead the way.
Mr. Tyreek Hill.
God.
This guy and his group, gang, whatever you want to call it, they went to they were on a boat and they tried to go fishing on the docks, which you can't do in that area. I don't know if they knew it or not. And apparently got into an argument or disagreement with the fellow who tried to inform them that they can't go fishing and allegedly smacked the dude on the back of the head.
So I heard he just hopped on a boat that was someone else's boat. That's what I heard, and he was just like playing or whatever, and then dude was like, "Hey, you gotta get off the boat," and then he said, he slapped him on the back of his head and said, "I can buy you and the boat." That's what I was told. Now that situation you said could be true too.
Why is that one way more funny than what the fuck I said?
So I mean, because that's what I heard. I mean, I don't know. It could be. I'm not sure which one is legit. I don't know. I saw it on ESPN, so I'll go from there. What's your opinion on it? Go ahead.
I think it's stupid. But again, you're in the spotlight. You have over $1 million attached to your name. You can't just be hitting people just because you feel like you can buy whatever the hell you want or throw your money in people's faces. It's stupid. Plain and simple.
I mean,
if I'm be smarter than that.
If I'm the boat guy and Tyreek Hill hits me in the back of my head, so I'm acting like my spine just went out.
Which is probably what the guy is doing.
I'm getting my money. I'm getting my money no matter what. I think on a serious note, I think that this makes Tyreek Hill sound like a terrible human and how money can change people. I'm not trying to make it too serious, but like someone saying I can buy you in the boat, bro, that's like on some, some Scrooge shit. Like some Donald Scrooge type shit of you telling me you can buy me. And it's just a shitty thing that a rich person can say that nobody wants to hear. Now, is it facts? Probably so. You know what I'm saying? He could probably, buy you for $20 an hour. But like, it's just a shitty thing to say I can buy you in the boat. who says some shit like that. I get being filthy rich and having the power. I don't know. It sounded real shitty to me, just in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Saying it was like really you couldn't think of anything else to do in that moment. Even if you said it, you didn't have to put your hands on another grown man, like let alone a man that's older than you. It was just idiotic. And like I said, that's what happens when you throw money into a picture with people. They kind of change or they can change. So yeah.
But at the same time, you a little drunk. You know what I'm saying? I can see the homies hopping on the boat that they ain't ours. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? I've been there, did that.
Just in the back of his head, he probably had it was just like Michael Jordan.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it sounds like a good time to me. But all right, what news do you got coming out of NFL minicamp? And how are the rookies doing?
Well, the first one I want to start off with is going to Indianapolis with the Colts with Anthony Richardson.
Woo!
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That man, I think, is going to be a dog. I honestly think he is going to be a beast. And I mean, just watching the camp highlights and his training for it, I think the dude is going to be a beast. I think the Colts got to steal with him.
I said my number one favorite move of the draft, not the best, but just my favorite, was the Colts drafting Richardson and Josh Downs. Mm-hmm. Do you know who Josh Downs is?
Yeah.
I think both of them are just beasts. I can't wait for this, man. The one thing that impressed me about Richardson is his skills to be able to improvise, I think, will get him through the transition time to work on his accuracy. It'll buy him enough time to be able to, for him to be able to get, his accuracy up and just to be able to really become a quarterback who isn't rush dependent. Mm-hmm. And I think if he can depend on that just for now, not just stick with just wanting to run every time and just, that if he can just use it to develop his other skills, I think it's perfect. I really want to see that. Josh Downs, I know this whole segment is about Josh Downs, but I really saw him, and he wasn't projected to be this, but when I'm watching his tape, he really looked like a version of AB. And I was like, why does he really remind me of Antonio Brown? They are the same height, and they're like 10 pounds off in weight. But his route running was crispy as hell. And that just his playmaking, be able to get the right angles on balls. Pause. I think it works wonders. And so I think him and Josh Richardson, I'm glad to hear things coming out of camp. I'm still hesitant on Richardson as far as see how he does in games and if he can last up until then. Because the team's his. The team is absolutely his right now. And so I just want to see how that works out. But I'm extremely excited. He's probably he's one of the key things I'm zoning in for this year. So I'm glad to hear that news.
FYI, Brandon Miller's going to Charlotte.
Ooh.
Next person that I'm excited about, and yes, it wasn't the due to bias, but I do think he had a good camp. Drew Sanders, linebacker with Denver. I think he should have got picked way higher in the draft. And the fact that he fell to my team, I was extremely ecstatic about. The dude is a freaking... He's all over the field. I feel like we got good linebackers, but just adding him to it is just like, all right, cool. And I feel like defensively, he's seeing his highlights, he's a tackle machine. He knows how to read a defense. He's good on run stops. I think it was a steal for him to even fall that deep into the draft. But I'm hearing a lot. And again, this isn't just Broncos, The Wire and shit. This is in general. He's doing his thing. And it's something to keep an eye on for, again, a rookie linebacker.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know anything about Drew. So I'm going to take this moment to talk about my team in the New England Patriots. And I've heard amazing things about Christian Gonzalez, which is exactly what I thought was going to happen. And he fell to us, I think, to the 17th pick. I could be wrong about that. But I had him being a phenomenal. He was my number one cornerback. I wanted actually number two. I wanted Joey Porter, but Christian Gonzalez. I'm glad he dropped to us, and I knew he was gonna be a beast. I love watching his tape. From what I've heard, Devin McCourty, while he's at training camp, really gave him a supporting message and pretty much just said he's already playing like a vet. Now, whether he's talking out of his butt or what, either way, I'm still excited, and I know that kid's going to be such a ball hawk. Christian Gonzalez, I'm excited to watch you this year, and I'm so glad I'm hearing so many good things because I know this offense is going to suck. So there you go. What we got next?
I'm going to go kind of obvious. I'm going to go Bryce Young. I think, again, obviously he's a stud coming out, and I think he's going to show why he was drafted not one. What am I talking about? He's going to show why he was drafted that high. And
he was drafted one, bro. What are you talking about? It was? Yes.
Well, my mind is all over
the Panthers had the first pick. The Panthers
the Hornets shit is fucking me up right now. I'm multitasking.
Who the Hornets draft? Who did they draft?
No, again, they drafted Miller. They drafted Brandon Miller.
Oh, so sorry.
So now Portland is on the clock, and they pick us in, which means Damian Lillard is most likely gonna get the fuck out of Portland. Yeah.
Oh, what? What happened? What you mean?
Bro, he's not staying if they take this pick. He's not staying. He's gonna demand it.
Oh, like they weren't. I don't know. Apparently, I keep hearing things that he keeps saying he's in, then he keeps saying he's out.
He's not gonna stay. It's another guard.
I feel like we've been saying this for how long though? Like how long have we been saying he's gonna leave? That's my biggest problem with it. We've been saying he's gonna leave.
So who's gonna come off the bench? Who's coming off the bench? Anthony Simons?
Bro, I'm not
average 20.
I think this man just loves being fucking in nowhere. And he just is okay with being in Portland. I think we might have to come to an understanding that he's okay with that. And he's
not. He's gone.
We've been saying this. Why? What's special now? No. What's special now that I'm starting to give up on the fact that he might be going somewhere. I want him to go somewhere. I just don't. I think he's okay with not having success in the playoffs, and he's okay with not.
No, he's not. No,
he's a dog. He's out. Actions show otherwise. Actions prove me wrong.
It's gonna come out during this shit. As soon as they select the guard, as soon as they select,
he puts on Twitter, "I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out, y'all. It's over, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
As soon as they had one chance, and it was to trade this pick. And the moment you draft another guard, and you got two starting point guards who average over 20 points, 22 points, it's why. Why would you draft another guard? They're saying they need front court help. They have two guards that can literally put the ball in the hoop. However, but again, you're drafting this high for a reason, so you're going to draft your point guard in the future.
Is the pick in yet?
No, it's in, but they didn't say it yet.
Okay, go ahead. Who else was talking about in training camp? Anybody else?
Nah, my last person was Bryce Young.
Oh yeah, Bryce Young. I keep seeing pictures of him, and he just looks so small. And I'm not trying to harp on it, but he really does look miniature, bro. Like he just looks like he doesn't fit, and hopefully, he's
what fit into an NFL uniform. What do you?
I guess, bro. Looks like fucking midget league, dog. God damn. Like he is not. I don't see it turning out. First off, I hope he survives this year because he's gonna be running for his life.
Yeah.
Because nobody on that damn team. Terrance Marshall? Oh, we're so excited. Like, bro, he's not gonna get enough separation to even get the ball. So it's just I don't know if he can survive the turn up time for the Panthers to really get the weapons around him. And so that's why I'm really not excited for him because I think the Panthers as an organization are going to fail to really produce and put things around.
Gotcha.
But I mean that's just my thing. I am excited to see CJ Stroud though, but we can get more into that at another time. Boxing. Did you do what I said to do last night? in that text?
You told me to do something. I didn't know what I was looking at, but I mean, I somewhat did it.
All right, cool. You want me to lead the way?
Sure.
Kind of help it out. All right. We have what many people are calling fight of the year, and Errol Spence and Terrance Crawford are about to get ready to rumble, and a lot of people are really looking forward to this matchup just because both guys are tough, and it's going to be a very aggressive fight. No matter how you want to put it, it's going to be a great aggressive fight. It's nonstop action. And so, with that being said, I have Spence winning in 10 rounds. I'm no expert at this. Like, I'm not a boxing expert. But I do like a good match. And I do follow along enough to really get it. And I just think Spence is going to win in 10 just because I think that Terrance Crawford is a very adaptive type of boxer. And I think that Spence is going to start out super aggressive. And I think when he sees how aggressive that Spence is, I think Crawford tries to become a counterpuncher. And I think as soon as he starts counterpunching, Errol is going to go right for that abdominal and hit him with some shots. And I think it's going to neutralize the timing on the counter shots. And that's really going to give Spence the advantage. And I think 10th round is perfect for them to have a little chess match in between each round. And I think that, man, Spence he's the type to be so offensive that he can use his offense as defense. Meaning, like, he's going to keep coming. He's going to change his angles every single time. And he, just as a southpaw, he does just such a great job at keeping himself at a good distance. And if you want to go up close, he's good with being up close and just banging it out. So that's what I got going. What you got?
I'm going to go Crawford.
Woo! Look at you.
I'm gonna be the devil advocate and go against you. I'm going Crawford.
Did you see the trash they were talking?
No, I did not.
Right. When we get done, watch this video, bro. It was like high school trash talking. Like Spence said, no, what was it? Terrance Crawford said he was going fishing and he was gonna reel him in one, and then fucking Errol Spence said, "Oh, you can't." You can go fishing, but you can't go fishing for Moby Dick. And pretty much saying he was like the biggest fish out there. It was really good talk back and forth. I think this is a really good matchup, man. I think both at the same skill level. I think it just comes down to who's smarter and who's got more skill. And I think
wager. Do I hear wager?
Do you? You're addicted,
do
bro.
I hear wager?
You're addicted.
Do I hear
You're
wager?
Addicted. I'll do a solid. What are we talking? What's the range you working with?
Mm-hmm. Because it's not somebody I really know like that. I wouldn't go over I'd do something small. I'd do something more. I wouldn't go over 20. You know what I'm saying?
How about this? We can do something simple, like go out for like a dude hang out like lunch or something like that. You pay for food. Cause I'm gonna win, so it doesn't fucking matter. I say we do $15 if we can't plan it out, and then if not, we just do a homie dinner or something like that, and we go from there.
Copy.
So do you got a round?
No, I don't got a round.
That Carver's gonna win.
Yeah.
It's either gonna be really drawn out or it's gonna be really close. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I say I don't got a round, because I don't think it's gonna be a round. I think it's just gonna be scorecard. Got you.
I'm with you. Hey, in the future, guys, we are gonna be doing more UFC, some boxing if it's a super exciting matchup. Just because we aren't boxing experts at any point. But we are planning on doing, just more fighting stuff. It won't be just football and basketball or anything that's important and that we think is that we can actually talk about. We don't want to talk about golf or anything we just don't know that much about. But if it's exciting, baseball not our thing, But yeah, I mean, with that being said, make sure you guys go watch the full video on YouTube. I'm about to go edit this thing and put it up. Same thing with Spotify. Make sure you guys go go watch the video on that. We put both full versions of the podcast up there. You can go watch on your drive to work. If you're at the gym, you can listen to us. However you want to do it. We do put a lot of time into it, so we do appreciate you guys for watching. And a lot of views and a lot of follow buttons being hit lately, and we're on the come up. So I'm super excited about that. You got anything to say?
Appreciate that. Continue to do so. Sharing with your fellow people. Sharing the videos to whoever has eyes and has a finger. The more views, the better. The more likes, the better. But also, again, just in general, you viewing it is enough for me. So appreciate it. Continue doing it, and we'll continue putting out the content for you guys.
Absolutely. We're on the come up, and we're all good with the criticism. I don't care if you say you hate us and you want our families to die in the comments. I'm all good with it, because I'm going to talk this shit right back unless Trey just stops me, but you get
Till I get the Thule, and I'm going to look like John Wick out here.
Hey, bro, we had a dude named Shannon from New Zealand that was trying to play us in the comments, dog.
He called them out.
Hey, for real, fuck you, bro. Like, you got a mullet and your smile is crooked as fuck. You pimple face, volcano head ass bitch. But anyways.
Oh, shit.
That's all I got for you. That's the last thing I'm going to say. I hope you see this. You look like a hater that'd be obsessed with watching our shit. So, I hope you see it. Anyway, outro is being a little bit long. With that being said, we love you guys. We on the come up. This will be the best sports podcast out here. Again, love you guys. We are out. Thank you to our sponsors, by the way. Let's get out of here.